that when we talk about languages, we do not have one type of personality. So when you speak English, your personality is English is not the same as your personality in Arabic. And that means that maybe you have full confidence to say anything you want in Arabic, but that's because you're a native speaker of Arabic. Now we're talking about English. We just need to develop the character, the personality of the person in English, the ability to speak English fluently, naturally, and in understood way. Okay, we're gonna make sure that you don't make the same mistake I made when I was in the English Language Center in California. My English 11 years ago, well, yeah, 11 years ago was not as good as it is. And I had an English teacher, her name is Jennifer. So in language class that we had a reading class at that time. Sorry, listening and speaking class. And in listening and speaking class, we discuss stress, we discuss intonation, we discuss the sound patterns and mat al-aswat in English. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
One topic in the field that we studied called pitch. Now, pitch is how high your sound is. So if I say, I'm calling you, that's high pitch. If I say, I'm calling you, that's medium pitch. If I say, I'm calling you, that's kind of whispery, low pitch.
Yes.
And in Arabic, we don't have the sound P. So I was reading through the page and I said, what does that word mean, bitch? So I shifted the P into B, and the teacher was really offended because the way I said that, and she thought that I was calling her the bitch word.
Wow.
And I was really shy at that time, and I tried to explain to her that we don't have this sound in Arabic. So I subconsciously twisted the P into B. Now, P and B are very interesting sounds in English, and since we don't have V and P sounds in Arabic, we often go through so many problems with that. 3, and that's what I wanted to say. That's why I said, I want you to decide the number of steps that you plan, because that's the framework that I want you to follow every time you want to express something in English. When I was studying English, we were only 2 Iraqi students and 10 American students. We studied in a small school. And by the way, the word school refers to college, university, high school, elementary school, or primary school, or intermediate school. The word school refers to military school. So it refers generally to any academic institution. And I had a huge struggle the first year in my writing and in my way of catching up, يعني حتى ألحق with what they say, especially if I go to a party. They talk a lot about so many things and I don't catch up. يعني ما دا ألحق. What was the problem? The problem was that every time I was trying to say something, they go to the next topic. Okay, so I was struggling to catch up. Every time they talk and I just want to say something, they move to the next topic. They transition to the next topic, which is a struggle to me, because when they speak, I keep thinking about what to say, because I am afraid of saying something in poor English and I will lose my social image, until until I met a friend, a military soldier, who taught me a lot about how to talk to people. And he said, in our culture, you should not keep thinking about what to say when we speak. You need to analyze what we say and then respond accordingly. And when you respond, you do not have to speak the same speed that we speak in. You can, it's totally okay to speak slower. People speak slower, faster, on average, 120 words per minute. So you are not in a race or marathon to speak exactly the same speed. In order to do that, you need years and years and years of continuous practice to be at that level of speaking exactly the way that they speak in English. However, he said, depending on the topic, just try to listen more to what people say and then analyze what they say. And when you respond, don't just respond without a plan. You have to have a plan or a framework on what to say. Usually 3 ideas is a great opportunity to help you mind horsepower on 3 aspects. So your mind is going to categorize and answer them accordingly. You would have probably overcome so many of the obstacles and challenges that you had this year because you're just starting a career 3 months ago with people who are very qualified, who spent more than 10 years in this field. They're native speakers.
Yes.
They're specialized. They've traveled to so many countries. They garnered experience. So you're not dealing with normal people. The good news is that because you are affected by the way they speak, you will be like them because you are in the gravity of their orbit. انت في جاذبية المدار مالتهم. So you'll be affected, and you're an adult, you are aware of how your peers or القرناء affect the way you think and the way what you buy and when to buy and everything that they do. They will change you, they will challenge you, but they will change you positively, of course. So next year, you're not going to be the same person of this year. You would have accomplished a great tasks like understanding what people think, responding in charismatic and orchestrated way. And this does not happen in 3 months. It takes years. This is no experience to you, correct? What you need to do in our upcoming meetings is that you shift to 4G, Zen 4G. It's so much better when it comes to online meetings, at least for the meeting time. You can activate a hotspot on your phone, and then you shift to that. What was the last thing you heard from me? Of course, you'll be definitely affected by them in a very positive way. The ability to contact people and communicate with people effectively, naturally, and authentically about different topics of law. It's a quite natural, but it's a gradual. It's natural, but a gradual. It's a gradual process. It takes years to be able to grasp and control what to say in what occasion. And sometimes it's really hard. It's really hard to master it 100% in a variety of times, because sometimes I find myself struggling to say something about, for example, biology, even though the topic is general, but I have a little bit of struggle sometimes in biology when we talk about biology or chemistry or math. There are some expressions and terms that are not common, and so it's really hard for me to use them before I understand them. So I have to understand them first and process what they mean and how we can communicate using them. Let's have a look at, remember last time in our last meeting, it was an introductory meeting. We came across. So let me walk you through about what we do with this document. These are topics about daily life. We usually talk about all of them. That gives you more confidence the next time one of these topics is presented to you. So you have practice talking about it. So you're not going to hesitate or choose vocabulary to talk about it. Well, it's quite normal for us actually to transfer, not transform. You mentioned transform. It's transfer.
Transfer.
Transfer. So
Transfer.
to transfer some of the information from Arabic to English, Arabic language to English language, and it's quite natural, it's quite normal. I still get what you say, but what I love, you know, is to hear another version of formal Dean style English, and you're on this track, but believe me, it's not going to be overnight. Like, for addressing this issue is like addressing the problems of the country of Iraq. It's not going to happen overnight. We just need
Complicated.
It's not as complicated as the whole situation of this country. However, it gets to a point of saying, well, we can deal with it, but it takes a year. You would not believe how much you will improve and grow over this year. And you will remember what I say now next year when you realize how much you have improved over the past year, next year. However, what I wanted to say from this lesson is that you have a struggle with describing the process. And I gave you the example of the blender because of your way of speaking that needs to be put in a framework. You always have to think about what to say in a gradual and step-by-step process to give your mind a better chance to organize and reorganize your main thoughts and main ideas. So once you have an idea about a framework of what to say, you will definitely be okay with your speech and with listening to people. And I had this struggle back in the United States for almost a year, but then I started to catch up. I was going to friends, to nightclubs. I don't drink, but I have a glass of water and socialize with people and talk with them about everything. And
yes, I hear you.
There are two things, well, three things that improved me. I will tell you two because the third one is a secret. Number one is socializing with people at college and on trips and in nightclubs. I have a glass of water. People will think that it's a vodka, but it's not vodka, it's just water. And I go around and talk with people. It's because they talk a lot. So I talk with them. Number two, there's those missionary people, those who promote for Christianity, those who tell people about Christianity, missionary people.
Yes.
So they walk in streets holding Bibles and tell people about it. So I keep negotiating with them and talking with them for like hours. And every night I just walk and talk with them. And it just made me a better speaker. And what would make you again a better speaker if you socialize with people on campus if they're not busy, and especially in public events of the university where you can talk to people, socialize with them, understand what they say. Let me show you this newspaper. It's from the Time, British Time. It's this. I don't know if you see it or you don't see it yet.
Yes, I see it.
Time.com. It's very famous website. So it's true. Alcohol helps you speak a foreign language better. The idea is that you're shy because you are psychologically shy. You know, I wish we could talk face to face. I will definitely give you more kind of tips and tricks of how to avoid being shy when you speak English to people, because it's not like Arabic. English is completely different when it comes to you know, addressing people and talking to people and seeing what they say, thinking about what they say, sharing with them a few things. So let me just I'm trying to find your contact information here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll send you the link later.
Okay.
So it just says those who dabble in learning. Dabble means struggle. In learning a new language, sometimes find that alcohol in moderation helps you speak more fluently in a way that makes sense. It's been shown that a beer or a glass of wine can lower inhibitions, which make it easier for people to overcome nervousness or hesitation, which is interesting. I'm just saying that this shyness is just a matter of psychology. And once you overcome this psychology barrier, you will definitely be able to produce better kind of quality of English. Do you agree?